when we were in Issaquah, we were in a Sunday school class. We had a very great teacher. Her name was Sister Mitchell, and she was fabulous. And she taught by the Holy Ghost, which is nice. Well, they were talking about the three Nephites, and she looked around the room, and she said, "Have any of you had an experience with the three Nephites?" And the Holy Ghost said to Elizabeth, "You have, Liz. You tell him now." She had never really told that because it was kind of secret, and she wasn't really certain, but she knew it. When she had been a high school kid in Tooele, she and one of her friends, who was a boy, were getting a tree, a Christmas tree, for a stage production they were doing at the high school. And so they drove up. This is winter, and this is the Utah winter. This is back when Utah winters were really bad. And she went up with him, and they went up the canyon to get a tree. And Tooele was much smaller then. This is 60 years ago. Anyway, she was there, and they couldn't get the cars. They got the car stuck, and it was getting dark, and it's cold, and no one knows where they are, and they could freeze to death there. People do freeze to death, and in those days, every year we had people freeze to death. I think they still do.
Wow.
And she was not prepared for it at all. She was just a dumb teenage kid. All the wisdom of what a 16-year-old is like. And so there she was. And they prayed, and three men came up riding on horses. Two of them were taller, one of them was shorter and more stocky. And they got off the horses, and they freed the car and got the kids okay, so they could drive, go on home. And then they got on their horses and went on up the empty canyon in the night. And she didn't think anything about it more than that. She was thankful. Because it was really something thankful for.
Right.
And she knew the Lord had saved them, but that was it. And she hadn't thought about it that much until that day in that Sunday school class, and she realized from the Spirit, those were the three Nephites that saved Elizabeth and her friend. That was her own, and she had many more spiritual experiences that are sacred, and we won't go through those, but that's one that I'm willing to share.
Yeah.
That's it's Elizabeth. So Elizabeth was able to keep her equilibrium and keep her spirits up, and do everything the way that she was, and just the Grandy that you knew she was. Absolutely, 100%. While sometimes things were tough, and we had those experiences.